My biggest win with the journey has been that inner peace and just that fundamental knowing that I've got full purpose and a great deal more happiness.
That was amazing for me, and actually for my whole family. Allowed us to keep this open mind on life and to open to all the opportunities.
I have so much more freedom and self-connection and health and vibrancy. I just feel more alive.
The journey helped me to understand what my emotions are, not to be scared of them.
It changed my life. It cleared all blocks and brought into my consciousness what my heart's desire was.
Now I feel my life is easier. I feel stronger, feel what I feel and find a new solution.
To be free from the burden on my shoulders. I live in the moment now and I'm open to my emotions from the highest to the lowest.
Until the journey, I didn't really know that I could get to the same depth without using any substance. It's getting easier and easier to connect to the deepest part of myself.
Probably the biggest improvement is my inner life or my inner freedom to be as myself, in myself, not being a victim of circumstances and the other people.
The journey has really been a second chance in life for me. Having permission to dive deep and find out who the real authentic me was and just to be that person has just been wonderful.
When you listen to yourself and when you really touch your soul, something magical happens.
Life is different because of the journey. I feel I have all the tools I need to face whatever life throws at me. Life has become fun.
My biggest win was healing a broken heart, and not once, many times. I would never have been able to be in the position that I am in now had it not been for the journey.
Befriending myself in really accepting who I am, that I am perfectly imperfect and I don't need fixing.
I've gained so much. So there is no one big win. If it had to be named as one thing, I would just say it's life-changing.
It's changed my world, it's changed my life, it's changed me. And it's allowed me to be open and vulnerable and completely transparent.
My biggest win as a result of using the journey would definitely be my ability to network and expand upon the goals that I've had for such a long period of time.
My biggest win since attending the Journey Intensive has been finding myself. It has been healing, transforming.
I am just so much more receptive and open to whatever God has planned for me. At the very core of me, being able to experience that peace has been priceless.
Hello. Good morning,
hello.
everyone.
Yeah, hello and good morning, everyone, from us here at the Journey. Gaby Burt, that is me, and Daniel Wagner, my colleague, our Director for Communications. We both have been around for a long time, and I'm the International Director for the Journey. And today is something that we offering spontaneously because we had some really beautiful results from our last week's 3 live sessions on trauma awareness. And had a lot of questions coming afterwards. And I do know that we spoke about the Journey Intensive, which is a seminar, a 2-day seminar. And we had questions come in and people were actually saying, what is it? What happens at this seminar? And actually our banner for today's session says that how can the Journey Intensive help with healing trauma? So we wanted to address that in not God knows how long and wide, but just wanted to have a little conversation about that, just so you know what takes place. And sometimes we do get a little bit scared, a little bit suspicious, and no, it can't be that easy if you're a little bit like me. and so, Daniel, can I?
Yeah, of course. I just wanted to say for the people who are here to meet us again, welcome back. If you're new, because only a few hundred of you have joined the live streams, but many more are in the group. Today, in a 15-20 minutes, half an hour max, we very concisely want to share with you how the journey that I shared is one of the most potent trauma healing modalities that we're aware of. comparing it to so many others out there, how this first event can really help you, not just to clear your trauma, but to learn the method to a degree that you can use it on yourself ongoingly and also share it with your loved ones. And I think that's, for me, when I came for the first time to the Journey Intensive, that was the major outcome. I walked away not just with having cleared some emotional blocks I wasn't even aware of, but feeling that now I have access to something again and again. So it was very complete in its own right. And yes, I was the first one who received the question. You talked about the journey, but tell me more about this first step, this seminar. And many of you know, we have produced a special discount code, which is valid for exactly that seminar that Gaby is speaking about. It's all online. We have one in Europe coming up actually the end of this week. We got one in Australia, one in North America. All of them are online, but when we say Australia, North America, we just adjusted the time zones to be matching to the people living in those geographic regions. Yeah, Gaby, please go ahead, share an overview. What happens at the Journey Intensive? Let me know.
Well, I was reminded of a sentence that Brandon always says on the first day of the Journey Intensive, and Brandon Bays is the founder of Journey Work, which has been around for 30 years. We're actually celebrating this year, next month, the 30th birthday of Journey seminars around the world, starting in Malibu, in Brandon's home, very, very humbly, and has kind of swept around the globe over the last 30 years. So we have traveled, I have traveled extensively with Brandon, and then COVID kind of put a stop to it and made us rethink how we're offering these seminars. And I'm really, really delighted and thrilled to say that we can do everything online. And there's a sentence that she says, and I can't remember if she says it on the online event or not, but in the live seminars, I remember her saying, I want to teach you how, I'm not going to tell you, how does it go? I want to teach you how to fish. I don't want to tell you how to heal. I want to teach you how to do it yourself. And that's really the ethos of this 2-day seminar, which we have actually, it's essential that you are there for 2 days. So it's all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And then there is a third day, which is a bonus day. We call it a bonus day. And it's something that we call advanced skills, where you learn additional skills for making it easier. But on day one, and if you were here to hear me in one of the live sessions last week, I spoke about how I was kind of blown away that Brandon is offering this on the first day of the Journey Intensive. But on the first day, you will have teaching sessions with Brandon, and you will have one of our long-term journey presenters to kind of hold the space, to do question and answers, to put you in process, be there for any questions if necessary. So it's a very, very live environment. And then in the afternoon, you actually learn the process and you undergo it yourself. So you, together with another participant, will be paired up in a breakout room, and you actually have the script to learn everything you need to know, and you learn how to kind of open down through the layers into what Brandon very generically calls source. And source is something that is kind of, that has many names. You know, it can be this unconditional love, this universal love, this presence that is all-encompassing, this infinite peace, the kingdom of God that dwells within, if you know those words from the Bible. But
peace that passes all understanding, isn't it? That's one of them as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just something that is greater than us. And regardless if you're religious or not religious, or whatever religion you belong to, this is something that kind of weaves through every religion, but it doesn't have a paradigm. It's just a realization of the truth of who you are. Now, if I had a prayer for our world today, I would want every inhabitant of this world to undergo that process, to come home to themselves. And it is really, I don't want to say that simple, because we can't do it in 5 minutes, because we all have created armors and shields and protection mechanism and strategies because we somewhere along the way got hurt or got traumatized. And this is all about trauma. And so we're doing all we can to kind of softening our protection mechanism in the morning as the day goes on. And then the issues that are ready to come to the surface will rise quite easily and effortlessly. And then we undergo the process in the afternoon, and we actually open into this profound, boundless presence. That is home. That is the real you. That's the essence of you. And just tasting that, just putting a foot in it or a toe in it is enough to be true to it. Not true to what our society says, not true to what my friends say, not true to what social media says, not true to my parents or religion or whatever. It's a real homecoming and connection to self. You may have heard that in some of the comments that we heard before we started. So this is really, in my world, the number one benefit of the journey. Now, how does that heal trauma? Well, interestingly enough, when you open into this space, then we kind of have an opportunity to see an old trauma that we couldn't deal with at the time. And there is a beautiful, elegant process that Brandon has created where we come to completion. And so there are different elements of emptying out. There is a forgiveness element in it, but all of it together creates a complete completion, if you want to say that. So this is how it's possible to heal trauma at that level, you know? And also, and before I hand back to you, Daniel, what's also beautiful, and you've already mentioned that, this is something that we learn. You know, the process sheets that you receive, the process sheets are yours to keep. You can have access to the teachings for a couple more weeks after the event. You can go over the meditations. You get some gifts from us as the time go, you know, before you get into the seminar and after the seminar. And I think one of the most potent elements of it is also that we have a beautiful community where you can continue to clear up, because we do have more than one issue, or most of us have more than one issue. And that is a profound, beautiful opportunity where we either have, you know, you are able to join a membership, or you just become friendly with somebody from the seminar and you continue to work together with somebody else you got to know. So that's just on day one, and then there is a second day. So before I go on to the second day, Daniel, what else can you add to what I've said?
I think it's always best to speak from your own experience. So what you just shared, all of it, plus what blew me away is that source that you speak to, that you get effortlessly and elegantly introduced to. And what I found fascinating, that when you experience it, you will know that this is home. And you know, it is a space. Today, the scientists would call it the quantum field, the everything and the nothing, where everything is born out of. And I was absolutely 100% certain that this is what I was experiencing, because it was wide and everywhere. And of course, to name the nameless, to describe the undescribable is always going to be a bit futile. But from all I know and the thousands of people I've been witness since going through this experience, there is something that you remember feeling and knowing. So it's like, this is it. And you remember, as Gaby called, this is what we could call your essence, or the true self, or the truest part of you. So how come we've forgotten that? Because trauma creates layers of protection, so-called protection, because remember, trauma means we couldn't process the experience in the moment. We store it away for later, somewhere in the body. Then as we got older, we got all these stored away blocks that we need energy to keep away. The body would want to heal them and bring them to you, but we don't create space for it. So what the journey so elegantly and beautifully does is drop you into that space where these things get brought to you in the most, the best way I could say, like a mother would bring them to you, right? With love, only what you can handle. So this is, and it's all happening within you. So you walk away knowing that all the answers are within you. You're not getting a book, a 10 commandments, or a Bible of how to do things, or now you have a guru and they tell you how to. No, this is such a difference here. No religion needed, or every religion allowed, but the healing and the knowing is within you. And from my own experience, it never goes away. Once you tasted it, you will remember that you tasted it. You can't deny it, and you will be experiencing life in a different way. It's almost if somebody took filters away, or glasses that blur the world. You have more clarity, more energy, and it goes on. As Gaby said, this is not one process does it all. Yet the first one you will always remember. I'm almost guaranteeing you, and nobody forgets their first journey intensive. We all have experiences there. So I loved it. I've done it many times since. I shared it with many of my friends, and it is easy. Gaby said, can it be that easy? Surprisingly, all the great things in life are simple, at least from the concept. We make it complicated with our constrictions and confusions and concepts, but the essence is simple, that when you go through the layers of protection that you've built up, showing up as emotions and thoughts and memories, sooner rather than later, after a few of these layers, only a handful, you will drop into a space that you recognize and haven't been to for a long while. And it will be that nervous system state, which I called on day 2, the rest and repair. This is where the body naturally will start to heal. So the more time you spend in that space, the greater the healing. And these healings are sometimes progressive, but often spontaneous, which is beyond understanding. Science has documented thousands of cases, but cannot explain a single one, right? They document it took place very, very accurately, but there is no real explanation. They call it transmutation, they call it quantum shifts, but none of it explains how it happens. But the fact is, it does happen so many times, gives us trust that we can also experience this for ourselves, which is the last point before I hand back over to you, Gaby. The journey after 30 years and hundreds of thousands of people having experienced that process, it's safe, it's long lasting, or lasting forever. Once it's cleared, it's cleared. It has just helped so many people in all life areas, far longer than the conversation of collective trauma has been in our world. Far, far longer, the journey has helped people clear emotional, mental, physical ailments, diseases, whatever you want to call it. And it's been doing this very, very consistently, and it's still doing it today. It's not flashy, it's not fancy, it's practical, it's hands-on, and it brings results. And I think that's what really for me sets it apart. I've done many different healing modalities and events and retreats with many well-known gurus out there, and masters and elaborate schemes. And yeah, so for me, I can only say, if I have a prayer for the world, just like Gaby's, I want everyone to experience it, because then we wouldn't have to talk about it. Then it would be self-evident. With that, let me hand back to you, Gabs. I'm sure there's more that I prompted for my sharing that you want to share now.
Thank you, Daniel. I just wanted to say 2 more things to the first day of the Journey Intensive. One is that, which is such an incredible bonus, there is a beautiful energy there, even though we're doing this in a Zoom environment. But there's a beautiful energy because kind of everybody has a prayer to heal from something, and that in itself brings a depth. And even if our protection mechanisms are so layered that it gets difficult, or that we struggle, or that we may get stuck, we actually always have a beautiful team of volunteers at these events, which are actually people who've gone through the full Journey Practitioner program with Brandon, and they are offering their services. So if anyone gets stuck, then you have somebody who's been through all the modules of the Journey Practitioner program at hand who can support you. Why do they do that? It's a form of saying thank you and giving back for what they have received in life by Brandon's work, but also not just to give back, but also to come back and throw themselves in, because all the meditations, everything that we do on that weekend includes us as well. So we always have the opportunity to find or bring to the surface additional or issues that we may not have seen in the past. And when we come to these weekends, the energy and the light will help to bring that to the surface, or to help it to rise to the surface. So there is that. And once we open in this source, then those old traumatic issues or memories will come to the surface. And one of the questions we had at the very outset was a fear of re-traumatizing. And Brandon has actually addressed that on the first evening. And what she's saying with journey work, we can't re-traumatize it, because we're staying open and we're allowing the emotional strengths to come through and lift and clear up and out. It only gets stuck or re-traumatized if we shut down, which is what we did when the original trauma happened. In the process, we're not shutting down anymore. We're just allowing it, and we're emptying out. And that is the opportunity to actually clear it out of the cells, clear it out of our body. And then this cell that's been cleared of the old trauma can go about regenerating in a healthy way. So it's a very scientifically healthy process that helps us clear old stuff, old traumatic issues from our body, from our cells. And all of that happens already on day one. So we're beautifully equipped to come to day two, which gives us more and different ways of opening into this presence, into source. There's a beautiful opportunity for Q&A with the host who is dealing with, or the host who is hosting the event. And then in the afternoon, you actually go through a second process. And this process is more guided on the physical level. And we actually physically going after a physical issue. Now, some of you may be aware of a physical issue, and then we can just actually direct this process into wherever in the body this is stored. And it's a little bit like Brandon sometimes calls it a magical mystery tour throughout your body, but it's an introspection. It's an introspection in your physical system. Sometimes we see metaphors, sometimes we see parts of our insides, like the spine or the heart or the stomach, and we find areas that kind of have an issue and get in contact with the emotional underbelly of that. And then we once again do the same. We clear out, we empty out, we come to a place of forgiveness. And once again, if there is an issue where somebody gets stuck, we have our beautiful journey practitioners who can help and support our team. And that's it. So on day two, you should probably be done around 6:30. And then there is the bonus day, the day 3, which familiarizes you even more. And for many of our people, and I actually must say that probably about 85% of the people stay for the third day, because day 1 and day 2 has been so powerful. And to know that we can learn additional skills, that this is available for you, then people just kind of have the common sense to just stay and do a third process. And very often the third process can be really, really powerful and even deeper clearing. So the third day is something that is not a must, but you can take it in your own time in smaller doses. But recommendation would be to take it as a 3-day event if you can. And I know that many people have jobs to go back to and may not have the time to take a day off. So we kept it to Saturday, Sunday obligatory, and then the third day is optional. So this is the long and short of the Journey Intensive.
Beautiful.
And I'm not seeing any questions come in, so obviously there aren't any at the moment. Yes, Daniel.
I just want to show this little banner that I just made up. So this is an invitation for you to go to thejourneyintensive.com and use the special discount code Time to Heal. It gives you 50 euros off of the already massively reduced price of 197 for a 3-day online retreat. And this expires tomorrow. This is Thursday, the 18th of April. Expires because on Saturday we're kicking off the event. This is an opportunity to learn the skills, and I just wanted to share that here. But also there have been questions, how does that work, this whole online thing? If you're watching us now, that's pretty much what the setup you need. We want you to be in a space that feels safe for you and quiet. You need your peace and quiet. You will be on Zoom watching some of the teachings, but most of the work is done in breakout sessions where you will be working one-to-one with somebody, a trainer. I mean, the amount of trainers per event, sometimes we have 20, 30 trainers there. So we have a real hands-on supportive environment. So this is not you sitting back watching 8 hours of Zoom. You will be involved, actively asked to give feedback, to ask questions. So it does really feel like an online seminar. This is not a training, it's a seminar, an experiential seminar. That's really what I wanted to add to it. And we're kicking off at 9 a.m., Gaby, on Saturday. Is that so?
9 a.m., yes. Yeah.
And the days are full days, but they're not stretched out. On Saturday evening, it ends with a Q&A session.
Saturday evening just ends with an integration. So you have your process, you finish your process, and then you have an integration with Brandon just to make sure you know what to expect after the process, because very often the body can go about throwing out more emotions or more memories, so that we can be at peace with that we're not worried, oh my God, did I do something wrong? So there's a beautiful completion and integration, and the Q&A comes the next morning, so that we can really have time to let it integrate, because a lot of completion still happens while we're sleeping. So it's really good to just do the process, keep quiet, stay quiet, not plan any parties on that Saturday.
Actually, that's one more thing. We recommend, or we urge you not to consume alcohol during the time or any kind of form of stimulants, because we want you to be able to feel in the most unrestricted way your body and your emotions, and be able to go inside. Also, if somebody from the team can please put the dates and the link and the discount codes into the Facebook chat or in YouTube, that would be amazing. I don't have access to it right from where I'm sitting. And Gaby also shared on day 2 and on day 3 on the Trauma Awareness Week last week on the 12th, that if you want any friends to come, feel free to share that discount code. This is available to anybody until end of day tomorrow, which is the 18th of April. So by the end of Thursday, this 50 euros off expires. I would, if you haven't done it yet, do it.
It's the Nike code.
I try to find a subtler way of saying it. Just do it. Just go and do it, and then we'll speak next week about your experience. Yeah. What else? Are there any questions? That would be a great moment to field any questions specifically about this event. There was one question last week, which is, can I book for the June event already? We have an end of June, 29th, 30th of June, 1st of July event in Europe. Again, you can still use the same discount code, but the discount code expires tomorrow. So if you can't make this weekend, at least make the end of June event, so you have that skill. Oh yeah, I wanted to speak to that skill. Once you have experienced the journey, and people like Gaby, Cliff, her husband, myself, my partner Britta, once you live the journey, you can use those tools in daily life. If you notice something's up, instead of pretending everything's fine and carrying it on and waiting for the day where it leaks out under pressure when the trigger is here, journey folk, they just address things. They say, hey, I'm noticing something, empty out, or let me take you there, or let's feel it. So life becomes richer and freer as we go along. So it doesn't end at the journey intensive, but you need that first step. You need the toolkit, right? You need those two, we call them processes. They're both guided introspections that you can do with somebody or with yourself. You can record it and guide yourself. But these are the two types of introspections we call a process, a physical and an emotional process. And all further seminars, the journey has deepening retreats as well, uses those two core processes as a base, and it adds to it. There is abundance work, there is ego work, there is life transformation work. It can go really deep, but you need to do primary school first before you go to secondary and uni, so to say. And it's complete in itself. I think that's another thing I love about the journey intensive. That event is complete in itself, and you will be equipped, as Amadon in the introduction said so beautifully, whatever life throws at him, he feels he's got the tools to deal with it. And I think looking at the world, we can all do with more resilience, but not blocking, not a way of resilience of saying I will bear it, but a resilience of being able to process whatever life brings to you. So you're not storing it away for later, because it's too much going on at the same time. You can't store it away for later. Cool.
I think that's I haven't got anything else. It's just, I think, a final word from me about emotions and why it's so important to feel, because this is kind of one of the things that people sometimes ask the question, and is like, why? Well, we've got three options. We've got the worst case scenario of being totally numbed out. We have feeling our emotions naturally healthy pretty much most of the time, which would be the other end of the scale. And then there is the middle thing, where our band of life experience becomes very, very narrow. And that means that it's not just I have learned to block out negative emotions, but if we learn to block out anything, whether it's hurt, whether it's pain, whether it's anger, whether it's fear, we also blocking out the good emotions. We're blocking out joy. We're blocking out happiness. We're blocking out euphoria. We're blocking out being excited about something. All of that, our life experience, the band within which we experience life becomes narrow and bland. And that is why it's important. And, there is no one saying that we need to feel happy all the time. Just healthily experience what goes on. If somebody hurts me, to feel upset or to feel hurt is natural. To wallow in it forever and a day is yet another story. But to healthily feel it and let it come and let it go is the natural way we were designed, or are designed as human beings. Just like a little baby can go from screaming 1 minute to being distracted with a rattle and starting to laugh and to chat, you know. So that's the emotional what to name it. That's the emotional expansion.
The
range. The range is the bandwidth.
I really think what you spoke to, Gaby, is huge. The idea that if we shut down one emotion, we shut down everything, right? You can't use a partial blanket here, right? You can't say, oh, you know what? I just want joy, yes, love, yes, happiness, yes, but all the other stuff, no. And I think this is a major thing I learned with the journey. There aren't good or bad emotions, right? Humans have the tendency to have a dualistic view of everything, good and bad, dark and light, and heaven and earth, and on and off. And this is the duality as we perceive it, but in truth it is all one, and every emotion wants to tell you something. If anger is here, it wants to tell you something. If sadness is here, it wants to tell you something. Go and commune with that and see what is beneath or in the heart of it. And you do that a few times, you'll be amazed and surprised. But this is not something that can be understood. It has to be experienced. That's why our invitation here for you, if you've been part of the Trauma Awareness Week, then please move from awareness to accepting we all have trauma in one way or another. How can we start to heal it? That's the invitation today. So just go to thejourneyintensive.com. You can get another 50 euros off till the end of tomorrow. If you are in North America or Australia, there is a slightly different discount code that will be posted below this video in the Facebook group and on YouTube. Yeah, we wanted to just have a little hello. And it's always nice hanging out, Gaby. As you can tell, we could go on forever.
I think we call it. I think we bring it to an end now. But thank you, Daniel, for joining me here today. Thank you, everybody who has joined us here today. And please know that whatever it is that is holding you back in life, that is causing you discomfort in whatever way, shape, or form, there is a method here that can help you to deal with it once and for all, and ongoingly with everything else that life may just throw at you or us, whatever happens. So I hope we see you over the weekend. If not this time, maybe next time. And thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for listening. And thank you, Daniel, for being here. And I look forward to meeting you along the way. Thank you.
Same. Lots of love from Germany to everybody around the world, and hope to see you this weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
My biggest win with the journey was being able to access my deepest emotions and free myself from them. I feel more calm and serene.
I found my true calling. And now, today, I can help others. I love to make an impact. I love to see transformation in others' lives.
For years and years, I used to feel very lonely. And now I just feel a part of everything. I feel I'm alive.
My biggest win with joining the practitioner program is owning my own life back and stepping out of a severe PTSD.
The acceptance of myself and the self-love, so I don't need others to love me. That's perfectly okay.
Life is different now because of joining the journey, because I just live in so much abundance. You know, I get up every day with a joy for living. I want to go to work. I want to meet other people.
My biggest win was the really deep knowing I actually do have the answers. They are within me.
There is a lot more certainty and openness into where I'm heading and how I'm feeling about things.
I feel more connected to life. It's not an easy path for anyone to do healing work, but it's profound.
1, I'm more balanced. 2, I'm more grateful for those persons who helped me in this life. I enrich my life every day with this wisdom.
It's priceless. There's no better, bigger investment we can do in time, money, or energy.
I was a mess before I started with this work, and
I healed from lots of different types of abuse, and that's a miracle.
My life now, because of the journey, is transformed. I have confidence, even if I struggle. It's just I have to let go. It's step after step, and it's no danger at the end.
My biggest win is myself. It doesn't have to be anything else. You can be fulfilled even if you only have yourself.
It's more peaceful. I've learned to process emotions. I learned to be more self-aware, and I've learned when you need to ask for help.
I've been able to have a really deep, long, soulful look at myself, and I've been able to uncover, recover, and heal long-term wounds.
My biggest win being a journey practitioner has been becoming a therapist and a healer, because that's what I never imagined it to be.
I'm living from a place of freedom and choice. I'm really conscious in every moment. Any sentence I say, it's coming from just pure goodness.
I feel more authentic, wearing much less of a mask. It's about being you and feeling good about it.
I can embrace all that is. I'm here to share my life, my joy. Now I can just be me.
My own journey of healing from cancer is an inspiration for others. I get to work with amazing people, see amazing transformations in their life.
My biggest win is to be yourself. Just be there for other people, to help other people heal, and just to be there.
I know that no matter what comes, I have the right instrument to deal with whatever emotions every situation will bring to me.
It really has helped me come back to a place of wholeness. I feel like completely authentic. I feel genuine. I feel like I'm in my body.
My big win is my courage and my physical healing, my emotional healing. But in one word, I could say freedom.
The journey is all about releasing all of the emotions that create the illness. I was healed physically within 6 weeks, while I had been in pain over 3.5 years.